Fantastic. Sorry about the delay there, guys. Unfortunately, world of technical difficulties that are everything that I'm doing lately.
Yeah, you're up now.
Alright, so, back to where we were trying to be here. Welcome back to the Adventures of Ascension. Part 3, I guess, would be the technicality here. Unfortunately, we have a couple of people that are not going to be here immediately, and one of which that is not going to be here at all. RJ, our paladin, is unfortunately running a little bit late. He's got some real-life things to take care of first. And my mother, our tiefling warlock, is not going to be here, so she will be being played by Grum for this particular adventure, which is going to be amusing to say the least. Last time we were here, our wonderful adventuring party had found out about Asmodan and the gateway to the Nine Hells underneath the fountain in the town of Ascension. I'm sorry, Asmodan. Wow, my mother's got my brain all messed up at this point. Asmodeus. Not Asmodan. And in the process of this, they learned about Borin's father having taken care of the protective barrier. And upon Borin's father's passing, Borin picking up the mantle and learning everything that he could to put the barrier back in place. They met Alexander, a childhood friend of Borin's, and played some rather childish games to appease the spirit, essentially. They went in and had a very long conversation with Borin about what had happened, resulting in Borin going into a state of shock of sorts, and Grum becoming very angry about this and basically kicking the party from Borin's house and proceeding to try to take care of Borin, get him nursed back to health. At that particular juncture, the rest of the party was outside having a conversation about leadership roles, where our tiefling warlock, Charisma, had said that she wanted to vote Novak into a position of authority, and Morgan seemed to want to make sure it stayed fair and showed his placement and rank in his military-esque training. And that kind of resulted in the group all going a little bit their separate ways for the moment. For this week's campaign, we are going to start in Borin's house, with Grum taking care of a currently unconscious Borin.
No, Grum is pretty much nursing his old friend. He's got him wrapped in blankets on the bed. He's got the fire stoked. He's sponging off his forehead and whatnot and just trying to bring him back. He's trying to feed good berries to him when he can get him to not choke. And other than that, he just kind of sits with a pout.
Okay. Fairly simple, but a good update as to what is currently going on. Yes it is, Morgan. Well, let's word it this way. You would assume that it is, based on the severe lack of nasty things running around town at this current juncture.
Oh, no, I was referring to the barrier that he placed around his house.
Oh, God, no. That would have dropped. Well, actually, I don't know if you would know that or not.
I have a telepathic link with Nicodemus, so if it's up, I wouldn't get anything from him. If it's down, he would at least be able to send me things are good or things are going bad vibes.
That is fair. And yeah, as far as you could tell, the barrier would be down then. Didn't think about that. Thank you for the reminder. I forgot Nick was in there. So Grum is just kind of hanging out and taking care of his buddy and Everything seems to be about as good as could be hoped for from that perspective. What is Novak doing after having been approached by Charisma about the idea of being the leader of the group?
So who's all here right now?
Charisma would have walked off. I think she said she was heading back to the inn in our last campaign.
Yeah.
Ocean just kind of posted up against the wall, and I don't remember. I think Morgan said he was running off to look for the guard.
Yeah, I'm off to the south gate.
I think Novak, probably being stressed out from all the events that happened, probably going to go like somewhere, like probably near the inn or somewhere kind of secluded and kind of work out and just kind of train a little bit. Just get his mind kind of straight. And
Fair enough. Alright, so feel free to kind of just bop your token off to wherever you would want to be. Kind of doing your workout, your little bit of a training regiment, if you will. Let's go ahead and go to Morgan. What's Morgan off to the south gate to do?
I'm looking for the 2 guards that were posted at the south gate to talk to them.
Alright. Go ahead and approach the guards however you see fit, sir.
I do so making sure that they see me. I'm not trying to sneak up on them.
They are on the other side of a giant series of walls and a huge gate. They can't see you, but they will know when you start coming through the door.
Then yeah, I'm gonna come out. Are they on the other side of the gate, or are they like inside of a guard post?
From what you can tell, they kind of just stand on the opposite side of the gate. So
Then yeah, I'll walk through the gate and I'll kind of turn around and approach one and give a half-hearted nod salute thing to get their attention. One of them.
Yes, can we help you?
Yes, is there a captain of the guard that I could speak to?
Did something go wrong?
Oh, no. Me and the other adventurers who arrived recently acquired a contract to clear out the sewers within the city. And I was wanting to know if there was possibly any architectural maps that could give us an advantage of where we're going specifically.
Well, unfortunately, our captain of the guard is also Marcus, and he is currently off to the hunt. The only other person that may have knowledge of that would maybe be Boren. Have you tried speaking with him?
No, not yet. I think he was a little indisposed. Would you have a library or a town archive? Or would that also be in Bourne's house?
No, we really don't have much anything like that. Most of the books that we have are either in the alchemy shop or in Boren's house. Unfortunately, downside of being a small town, you know.
Oh, understandable. Thank you for your help.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's anything else we can do to help you find adventurers, please feel free to come and ask. And you could definitely get a bit of sarcasm coming off of that.
Lucas. Captain of Guard. That's good to know. So, I will head to the alchemy shop to talk to, just my one last ditch effort. I'm going to see if I can talk to Tim to see if he has a map.
Feel free.
Seeing Grum do this a few times before I walk in, I'm going to knock on the door hard 3 times before stepping in. Hello?
Come in, come in.
Mr. Tim.
Yes.
Quick question. I have a feeling I'm going to know the answer, but I want to try anyway. You wouldn't by any chance have any maps of the city or its under architecture, would you?
Map of the town. Really don't need one. It's fairly small. Never bothered to have one made. under the city itself? Are you talking about the sewer system?
Yes.
Best bet would be to talk to Marcus or Boren.
That's what I was hoping. Or that's what I was figuring. Thank you.
Sorry I couldn't be of more assistance.
No problem.
How's that ring treating you?
He was on his way out the door when he said that, and he's kind of like rubbing the spot where it was. It came in handy once. Long story, but I'll catch up with you on that later.
Please do. I'm a fan of stories. The more you hear, the more you learn, right?
I kind of nod to him, wave goodbye, and head back out.
He looks a little puzzled, but lets you leave.
Now, I guess I'll head to my room in the inn
Okay.
and keep an eye through Nicodemus for any updates on Bourne.
Okay.
Do some little studying through my spell book and whatnot.
Okay. Charisma's probably in her room doing whatever it is that Charisma would be doing at this particular juncture. Unfortunately, Ocean is not here to speak for himself, so I'd say he probably is off praying somewhere at the moment, which would make a large amount of sense considering the events that occurred with him. A few hours go by, you're all sitting, kind of doing your own thing, minding your own business, and the evening starts to set in. And all of you start getting very hungry, realizing that you never actually had breakfast or stopped for lunch. For those that are currently in the inn, the smell of sausage, of lamb, potatoes, different meats start kind of filling the atmosphere of the inn itself. This is really starting to become more appetizing the longer you sit and the hungrier you get. About the same time that everyone is starting to smell the meats and the potatoes cooking in the inn, Grum sitting in Boren's house, you notice Boren begins to stir.
What? You okay?
What happened?
You fell over.
I fell over. The last thing I remember, I was talking to the party of adventurers, and
Yeah, and then you fell over. And then you wouldn't wake up, and I brought you here. They're gone now.
is everyone okay? Did anything happen while I was unconscious?
They're okay.
I didn't mean to scare you, Grum. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You're old. I mean, I kind of expect you to start falling over eventually, but, you know, scary the first time.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Want a grip berry?
I'm a bit hungry, Grum. I know that the inn should probably be preparing food. Sylvia has a meal for me that she knows to prepare when I'm not feeling well. Can you go to the inn and get me my food? I don't feel I have the strength to go myself today.
Yeah, but you should eat a good berry first.
Good berries.
I
Okay,
made these one taste like pineapple.
Ooh, I like pineapple. Alright, Grum, I will take the good berry. And he kind of weakly holds out his hand.
It gives him a slightly yellowish good berry.
Okay. And he kind of smiles and nods and tosses the good berry in his mouth and chews on it and eats the good berry. And the color, you can see the color kind of starting to return to his cheeks, and you can tell that it helped.
And then he will. Okay, well, now that you're awake, I put water there, and there's some bath water there. You kind of smell funny, and I'll be right back with your food.
Okay, thank you, Grum.
And he gingerly kind of tries to open the door and close it again in its frame.
Surprisingly, this is one of the few times that Grum has not headbutted through the door. So, it's a little awkward, trying to actually gently operate the door, but you succeed and manage your way
Wait,
outside.
pokes his head back in the door.
Huh?
Is that owl in here?
And Borin kind of starts looking around. How well hidden would Nicodemus be at this point, Michael?
I think you said there was a hole in the rafters that he could nuzzle up into.
Yeah, kind of in the
But-
chimney.
Yeah.
Would he be, like, actively trying to be tucked away in it, or just kind of...
He's not like trying to hide, but he's kind of condensed himself down and just overlooking, hooting. That's why when he saw that Borin was awake and better, he kind of gave it a little cheerful hoot.
Okay. Borin...
Grum will extend his arm and hoot. Hoot! Hoot! Holds out a good berry.
That one's on you, Michael. How,
I was gonna try to emote it, but Nicodemus kind of hops down off the ledge and onto Grum's arm, takes the berry, and returns to his shoulder where he was last time before they essentially died in a dream. He's kind of has one claw. He's like eating the berry out of his claw, type of thing.
Did you poop up there?
He shakes his head.
Okay. I'll find it if you did.
Borin starts very softly chuckling, leading into kind of a gentle cough, and
Before
I'll be right back. Go and get your food.
before they walk out, Nicodemus kind of locks eyes with Borin for a second, and I guess since Borin is a magic caster, he would be able to see that for a split second it's not Nick looking at him. He knows Morgan's looking at him, but I'm not gonna mess with him. I'm not gonna message or anything. Just I know he's okay.
he kind of nods and reaches for the pail of water to clean up a little bit, and kind of get himself back into the look that you guys are used to seeing him, the little more composed and less disheveled.
Yeah, Nick will be there with Grum
Okay.
until he gets back.
So, Grum would be heading to the inn then?
Yes.
Okay. Novak, are you still off doing your workout regiment?
I figure he'll probably get hungry and probably smell the food because he's not too far from the inn. Probably head towards the inn.
Okay. And yeah, Ocean would probably have gone to his room and would have been praying and would have smelled the food as well. So, the party all kind of convenes in the dining chamber and notices that there aren't really a whole lot of people. Seems to be fairly quiet this evening in the inn.
Ah, big tree. Big tree. Oh shit.
There we go. Perfect, thank you.
Is it that same innkeeper, the drunk guy?
You do not see the drunk guy in the dining area, but you see Sylvia kind of bustling and running back and forth and kind of... She seems to be, like, checking to see if you guys want anything and then running back off in to help with whatever cooking might be done and kind of checking on the bar and then running back in to check on whatever cooking might be getting done. And she looks like she seems to be the only one in this inn doing hardly any of the actual work.
Is Novak in there?
Yeah, I just came in. Probably sit next to you guys.
I'm gonna kind of look over to Novak. Do you know if the meals are comped with the rooms?
I'm not too sure, to be honest.
And I kind of reach towards my pack and pat the medicine kit that I purchased. And was like, because this tapped me completely out.
I got a little bit on me, not much.
Mind if I borrow some until then?
Yeah, I got 2 gold. I'm gonna probably get Sylvia's attention when she comes back by and order some food.
Okay. Sylvia kind of comes over to the table where you guys are sitting to prepare for your meal, and I'm sorry, I'm very tired. I've been running all day. Um, what can we interest you guys in? Anything in specific that you would like? We can make almost anything.
Whatever the special is today, I'll have that.
Today the special. Let's see, it's Tuesday. We would probably. No, our special tonight would be the sausages with the potatoes, stewed potatoes, and our fire starter whiskey.
Sounds perfect.
Welcome to the adventure, Ocean.
Thank you.
Just to give you kind of a quick catch up, everybody's mostly kind of just done their own thing, hung out. You were kind of in your room praying after last session's events. And it's starting to get late into the evening, and you guys can smell food. Everybody has kind of started to gather in the dining area at the inn.
Yes, I am hungry. What's to eat? Question.
You'd probably have
Sausage,
made it out
lamb, potatoes.
in time to catch Sylvia, and she would tell you the same thing she told the rest of the group about the special for the evening being some sausages and some stewed potatoes and the fire starter whiskey. Should you pry for more information, she could probably list off a couple other things, but on the air you can smell lamb and other various meats cooking and being prepared.
Sounds good to me. I'll take some of that for sure.
Fantastic. So, let's see. One for the half elf. One for the gentleman in the armor. You with the robes, did you want one as well?
Yes, please.
Okay, so that's 3 specials. Charisma comes kind of walking out of her room, you know, pops off her bit about making it a 4th, and Sylvia kind of does a little mental note to add a 4th to the lineup there, and as she starts to kind of go walking back into the area to begin the cooking, I'd say Grum probably is making his way through the door if he would like to be.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
Hey, Grum.
Hey, Sylvia?
Yeah, yes, Grum.
Orange awake. He wants to eat. Can you make him his special?
Absolutely. It's gonna take
He
me
didn't
about
feel so good.
15 minutes or so. Are you going? Is he gonna be okay to wait that long?
Oh yeah, I think he's gonna go poop.
Okay.
You know it takes him a while.
Are you hungry, Grum? We're having sausages and potatoes tonight and some fire starter whiskey.
Uh, maybe 1 or 2 plates.
Okay, well, you just keep letting me know if you're still hungry. We'll get you taken care of.
Okay.
And she kind of hustles off to the kitchen with a little bit of purpose to her step at this point. Hearing about Boren and being specifically asked for Boren's special. What would you guys like to do while you were waiting on your food?
I'm gonna talk to Morgan. What do you think we should do with these rats?
Well, quick question, DM. Would I know about a rat king? Like the actual demonic version of it? Because that's what I'm assuming we're going to be dealing with.
No. You definitely would not.
Okay. My general plan was to try to find a map of the sewers, but Marcus is the captain of the guard, and he just left for his hunt. And Boren would probably be the only other person who'd have a map of this of city, and I didn't want to disturb him while he rested. I kind of glance over at Grum as I say that.
Oh, wait, you mean like picture drawing of where everything is?
Essentially, but more for the sewers. That way we know roundabout where to go and where to traverse. We're not walking in there blind.
Oh. Well, I don't know, you can ask him. I kind of know a little bit down there, but not too much.
Well, you said when we were playing games with the little boy Alexander that you had some rat friends that were in the general store. Would they know how to get around?
Well, they might, but they're not really. I mean, I wouldn't call them friends. I just, gave them names and have talked to them once in a while.
Ah, I
They
see.
still try to bite me. I mean, I got to pet them once without them biting me, but I think that's because it's a big block of cheese.
Would Nick be able to go and scout ahead? Would it be too dangerous?
He could scout ahead, but I'd like to have a feel of if perhaps before they sealed off the sewers, if they trapped it or anything. But he could possibly. And I look over at Grum again, so like, So you were able to distract them with cheese.
Well, yeah, I mean, the little rats, you just kind of feed them a whole bunch and they just go into a big old eating frenzy. And that's when you go in and you get the ale. That's how we get the ale out of the bottom of the cellar.
Are there more little rats in the sewers, or do they get progressively bigger?
Oh, no, they're a lot bigger down there.
Does cheese work on them as well?
Never tried. Adventurers work, though. You know, the ones that I was supposed to keep alive. Anyway,
Grum,
yeah.
you can turn into different animals, right?
Uh-huh.
Could you turn into a rat?
Sure.
If you turned into a rat, would the other rats know you're different from them?
Well, you see, I tried that before, and they always seem to notice. I don't really know why. I go squeaky squeaky with them, and but they always know that I'm not the same. Oren says it's because I'm like green, but I don't really know how to get rid of that.
I kind of lean back in the chair, and I look over at Novak, and I'm like, we could take care of the general store in one go, using what you made the other night and a small vial of cheese. Boom, they're all dead. That would at least clear the entranceway.
I could also make some poison as well.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
If you want to actually just poison the cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Or I have acid if you want to throw that out.
Well, if we destroy the tails with the acid, we won't get paid for it.
But we're just the small ones. We're not worried about the tails, but the small ones, are we?
Mm,
I'm pretty sure you only get paid for the big ones.
Yeah.
okay.
But you know, haven't really had that many to get paid for, so
Grum, have you ever been in the sewers?
well, yeah, I've taken adventurers down there.
How much room is in there?
Uh,
Can you stand up and walk in there?
I have no idea.
The sizing in the sewers that you would have seen, Grum, it varies in size.
You know, between a 1 gram and like a 2 gram.
All right.
Aside from the bigger rats, was there anything else like spiders or bats or flies and bugs?
Frogs.
Yeah, there was other stuff. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff down there. It depends on where you go. I mean, that's where I saw the toads. Well, they were actually kind of frogs, but you know, I kind of adapted.
Did the frogs like you?
Nothing likes me down there. Nothing likes anyone down there. They all just try to eat you.
Hmm.
We could try to like maybe poison some of the cheese. Try to feed that to some of them.
Yeah, once we clear the space in the general store, I'll send Nick through, see what I can scout out. But if it gets too dangerous, I'll have to call him back. It's very, very costly to resummon him should he be destroyed.
Sounds like a plan.
I mean, I've never seen birds down there.
Are there any traps? Like broken walkways or sinkholes or spikes that fly out at you?
Yep.
Well, there's a plus. Are there any torches? Or is it all dark?
Well, I mean, people have brought torches with them.
Have you ever noticed anything magical down there?
Well, I mean, maybe, but you know, what I think is magical, people have sometimes told me was just a pretty rock. I found a
Okay.
blue rock once, and I thought it was really magical, but then they told me that no. I was sad.
Hmm.
At
Want to
this
see it?
point,
I hid it
Sylvia.
under the inn.
At this point, Sylvia kind of starts coming out and setting out plates and silverware and brings you guys all your fire starter whiskey and
Morgan's going to ask for a glass of water to go with it.
she kind of nods and you can tell that she's aware that you guys are talking and she doesn't want to interrupt, so she's just kind of working around you and kind of just keeping to herself. And all right, I'll be right back with your water.
Thank you, dear.
On her way back to the kitchen, she kind of stops and puts a hand on Grum's shoulder and says, "I'll be back in just a minute with Boren's food. Did you want some juice with your meal, or did you want the fire starter whiskey tonight, Grum?"
Just some juice, please.
Okay. Alright, I'll be back in a little bit. And she kind of scurries back off towards the kitchen.
Brum, when you take Boren his food, and I don't want to bother him, but can you ask him if he has any pictures of what the sewers look like in his library?
Which I can, but I mean, you guys know that the sewers aren't, from the town, right?
Where are they from?
Well, nobody knows. I mean, it's a little town. We don't need sewers. We poop in buckets and throw it in the forest.
I'm going to kind of lean over at Novak and whisper to him, could it be a necropolis?
I had a question for the GM. How old are these buildings?
Some of them look to be very old with some minor repairs.
When you say very old, you mean like 50 years or like hundreds?
Like a couple of them look to be hundreds. Some of them closer to maybe 50, maybe 100.
Would some of the buildings be sort of like the style? We can tell the style has changed at some point or another.
You can definitely tell that the buildings inside of the town itself are significantly more updated than the buildings on the docks. It looks like whatever calamity had happened with Asmodeus happened strictly within the walls of Ascension. And that is where most of the rebuilding had been done. You can tell traces, and this is kind of where you get the idea that, yeah, they may be several 100-year-old buildings, but there's new construction on those very old buildings. So it's kind of a blended architecture inside of the town of Ascension.
It'd be interesting to see what these sewers lead to.
Only one way to find out.
nobody's ever been everywhere. That I know of, at least. I mean, there's stuff down there that's really creepy. You just kind of don't go there, right? Don't bother it. Doesn't bother you. Unless it sees you, then it wants to eat you. That's when you turn into a dragonfly and run away. But you can't do that. That's when, the adventurers get eaten. So don't do that. Be careful.
Hmm. Well, I'm sold. I cannot wait to get down there.
Morgan pulls out the medicine kit, sets it down on the table. I purchased this with the gold we got from the fire crabs, just in case.
You got fire crabs? That sucks, bro.
I mean, fire beetles, my bad.
Oh.
I think fire crabs is why the innkeeper's not here right now.
That prostitute was bad.
Oh,
Oh no.
But anyway, he has the healer's kit on the table. He's like, we have this on the offset chance. I have the ability to stabilize people magically, but if I'm incapacitated or I'm not nearby, is anybody proficient in using these?
Well, sure. You know I can also heal, right?
No, I did not know that. That would have been nice to know before I bought this.
question for the DM: is that something you have to be proficient in to use, or?
You can use it without being specifically proficient in it. You just have better benefits by having proficiencies or feats that let you do special things with it.
Okay.
And I think. Let's see. Think I have proficiency in medicine? Yes, I do. I can do all the fun shit. But if I get knocked out, this is more for if I get knocked out. And then I'm gonna say we'll probably need torches. Quick off-topic question: did Ocean use the light cantrip in the dream? I can't remember. I think he did. Or we were talking about it and said he had it.
I don't think I ever used it, but I do have it.
I think we were talking out of character about it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Morgan's gonna pick up a fork and cast light on it. And it's like, I can do this, but it'd be better if everybody has their own light source on them. And then when I set it down, it turns back off.
I can see pretty fine in the dark.
Got my end covered as well.
I think you're the one that has trouble seeing in the dark.
Me?
No,
Yeah.
Morgan.
Oh yeah.
I can see through him, and I start petting Nick again. I can see fairly far. But again, if anything happens to him, I am compromised.
All right.
Charisma has dark vision, doesn't she? Yeah, two things.
Just you?
Yeah, I can see it just fine.
I can't do female voices.
Spot on, spot on.
That was perfect.
Beautiful.
Just make her sound like a Tibetan gangster. It'll be alright.
Right. From now on, charisma is Russian.
Perfect.
That's now canon.
Yes, I can see in the dark just fine. No problem. 120 feet. Better than all you idiots.
Yikes. Someone's a little aggressive.
Yeah, I shouldn't RP for her.
I'm definitely not doing it. I'm not stepping in that can of worms. I'm not that stupid. I was gonna have her go off and do her own thing, and she volunteered you, man.
Oran's gonna be doing death saving throws in real life.
Right. Right.
Um,
Well, so wait, for the healing stuff, if you guys want, I could make some more good berries and hand them out, and that way you just have some on you. And you can also shove them in people's mouths when they're like almost dying. That does work. I've tried it a lot.
Okay.
Weird
Does that actually
question.
work?
Yeah, just like shove the berry in their mouth and then close their mouth and just like tap their cheek until it breaks, and then they'll wake up. Or you just like shove it right in their mouth and then they wake up choking. I don't know. You just gotta be careful. I haven't quite figured out the best method.
Thanks.
Sometimes you gotta hurry, And yeah, he will cast good berries. Just close his hands and open them again, and there'll be 10 little berries in his hands. These ones are pink. Strawberries.
Look at that.
2 for you. 2 for you. 2 for you. Just to everybody in the party.
Thank you, Grum.
Thank you.
So yeah, they don't do much for the healing. I mean, they just kind of heal some scratches, but they're good for waking people up when they fall over. At least then they can run for themselves and you don't have to carry them.
Alright. At this point, Sylvia kind of comes toddling back out, and she's got a tray in one hand and a bag in the other. And she kind of swings over to the table and just very gracefully sets this huge tray kind of down on the edge of the table. Starts passing out everybody's drinks, puts the plates of food in front of each of you, and gives Grum his juice, and sets the bag of food next to Grum. Is there anything else I can do for you before I go back to my business, or do you guys need anything?
I'm fine, thank you, dear.
No, this is great. Thank you so much.
Food's good enough for me.
Wonderful. While you were staying here and helping out Borin and Grum, the food's on us. We do accept tips, but don't feel obligated to actually pay.
Keep that in mind. Thank you.
Not a problem. You guys are helping us. It's the least we can do. You guys enjoy your meals.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And she kind of pats you on the shoulder and points to the bag. Don't forget about Borin, Grum.
I'm going right now.
Okay.
Oh, don't eat good berries before dinner. It ruins your appetite.
Thank you.
Kind of stuffs them in his component pouch. Nicodemus is going to kind of hop from Morgan's shoulder across the table, avoiding the food, and then kind of tries to flutter up onto Grum's shoulder again.
Bye.
Nick's going to follow Grum back over to Bourne's.
Yeah, he's gonna go straight to Boren's first with the bag of food and his juice.
Okay. As you approach Boren's house, you notice that there's a firelight inside of Boren's house. It's starting to get dark, and he's probably set himself up at his desk based on your normal knowledge of Borin.
See, Nicodemus, this is what he does. He works all night, all day. Work, 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 work. I mean, I don't really get it. There's not that much to do, you know? He just scribbles a lot. Knocks on the door.
Yes, come in.
Comes in. Hey, Warren, I got food. Sylvia made you a care package.
Oh, wonderful. I'm starving. And, roll a perception check, Mr. Grum.
Me too for Nick.
Yeah, go for it.
I realized we were doing something a little off. Is it a vision or sound I'm looking at?
This would be a visual perception check.
And it is just advantage. Excellent. 19.
Nicodemus and Grum both notice that Borin's a little bit shaky and a little bit sweaty. And he just has piles of books and papers on his desk. And even for you, Grum, being specifically a little bit knowledgeable of Borin's behavior, this is a lot more on his desk than he normally has when he's just working.
Hey, Boren? You okay, buddy?
Yeah, lots to do. Lots to prepare for. Very, very busy night for me.
Why?
I'm getting old, Grum. I can't be here forever.
Sure you can. I'll just keep giving you good berries.
He kind of half-heartedly smiles and... Oh, unfortunately, Grum, good berries don't cure old age.
But you can't go anywhere, Boren. I mean, you're my only friend.
Well, unfortunately, that is not my place to say. I'll be here as long as I can.
Well, can I help?
Take care of the adventurers. Make sure that this group survives. They seem to be doing better than everyone else has so far. They may be the only hope that this town has of surviving.
Are more beetles coming?
Something far worse than the beetles, Grum. Something far worse.
Oh, the guy with the tail? Wait, is the big guy with the tail and the horns coming?
Maybe. Maybe.
Well, how do I turn everybody else into dragonflies so that we can run away?
I don't know if you can, Grum.
So, should we all start running away?
I don't think you need to right now. They seem to think that, with enough time to try and prepare, that they might be able to fight him.
Who's they?
The adventurers that you've been helping.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, they all think that they're gonna live, Oren. I mean, and then they all die. I mean, they all think that they can take on the Rat King, and then they die. Or the Beatles, or, you know, Bob and Susie. I mean, that one group died to Bob and Susie. That was kind of funny, though.
Yeah. Well, Did you notice the one that has been wearing his hood this whole time when he took his hood off?
Yeah, you look funny. I figured it was makeup.
Okay. You see, Grum, there are certain beings in this world that I had hoped you would never have to meet. Unfortunately, those beings also have an opposite being that is very good. And I think that the individual that was wearing his hood is one of those good beings. And if this is the case, they might have the best chance.
Of what?
Surviving. Putting an end to all of this.
Wait. So we run away to put an end to all of this. Is that what we got? I don't get it. Isn't that what surviving is? Running away?
Sometimes. Sometimes you have to fight to survive.
Well, we haven't done that very much. I mean, we, we can try. I'll try.
I have faith in you, Grum. I think you can do it.
I'm getting better with my magic. I tried some other things yesterday, and it worked. A little bit. I could see the moon during the day. It was kind of cool. I think I might have just been hallucinating a little bit from the good berries, but, you know,
That's an interesting thought. Okay, Grum. Well, I'm going to eat and kind of get back to work. You should go join up with them. I know that Marcus had said that he wanted you guys to take care of some rats. You guys should probably get some rest, maybe, or if you're feeling up to it, go tonight. It's up to you.
well, I'll leave it up to them, I guess. You know, they seem to know what they're doing, kind of. Well, we'll see.
That
I don't know.
sounds...
The rats are kind of becoming a problem.
that bad, huh?
Well, either we gotta deal with them or we gotta move the blacksmith shop and just, fill it over again, like last time.
Goodness. Well, you should probably get them moving as quickly as possible. The sooner it's dealt with, the easier it'll be.
Okay. Take care of yourself, Warren. You don't look so good. You want a good berry?
Sure, Grum.
I made some strawberry ones.
Sure. I'll take another
Give
good
him
berry.
one of his last good berries.
And he
He's got one left.
kind of smiles and munches down the good berry, and the sweat starts to dissipate a little bit, and he starts to, again, a little more color coming into his cheeks. He's starting to look a little bit more up to snuff. And he kind of pats you on the head and says, "Okay, Grum, hurry along. I should get back to work. You're a good friend."
Well, hey, Morgan. I mean, not Morgan. Warren.
Yeah?
Morgan was asking about pictures. Do, you know, do we have one of those maps or pictures of the sewer?
I unfortunately do not. I don't like to go down there.
Okay. Well, Well, I kind of know a little bit. I mean, I remember the way to the rats, at least. So, I think we'll be okay.
You guys be safe. Come back in
Take
one
care of
piece.
yourself, Warren.
I'll do my best, and you take care of yourself as well, Grum. And he
I will.
kind of hunches back over his desk and almost aimlessly reaches into the bag and starts pulling out biscuits and different, like, sweet
Old people food.
snack cake style things.
Can I have a biscuit?
And Boren kind of reaches down into the bag and says, I knew you were going to ask that, and hands you a very strange biscuit. It's round with a hole in the middle, and it's got a kind of a glazing over the top of it, and it is peppered with what appear to be dried grubs.
What?
I got
This
this one
is magical.
specifically for you, Grum.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
He puts a finger through the hole. Tea. And leaves.
Boren kind of chuckles as he goes back to his food and work. What is everyone else doing at the dinner table?
We eaten.
As Morgan opens his eyes, breaking the connection between him and Nick, and he kind of relays with the party. He's like, "So there's no map, so we're gonna have to walk in blind. I'll have to scout with Nick as best I can. But there's something else." And he kind of leans back as he takes a bite of his food. I don't think the general store is the only entrance. I overheard them say something about filling in the blacksmith's shop again.
Filling in the blacks, like, or is there like a hole of some kind?
I don't know. But apparently the rats have gotten bad before. So Grum knows where to go to deal with the rats. So he can be our guide. But we need to make sure he's not on the front lines, because if anything bad happens to him, well, we're done for here.
We can figure that out. I'm not too worried.
I'm sure me and Ocean could probably lead the way.
Oh yeah.
Morgan, you and Charisma can probably hold up the back end, for your long range spells. And have Grum maybe in the middle. Should be a pretty good option. Depending on how much room we have in this place, though. I don't know if it's gonna have to be single file or how small it gets.
Yeah.
We just have to see once we get there.
We're just playing the waiting game right now, fellas. Won't know until we get there. I do think it might be worth checking out this other hole, whatever, at the blacksmith shop. I mean, it sounds like you were saying it could be another entrance.
I can send Nick to do a flyover.
Oh wait, does Nick actually fly to you, or does he like teleport to you?
I snap my fingers, and Nick just appears, sitting on the table. He disappeared away from Grum.
Yeah,
If you send Nick in there to scout and something goes wrong, can't you just snap your fingers and bring him right back?
I can, assuming I have enough time. If I can see something's about to happen, I can, as a reaction, dismiss him. But if we're both caught off guard and he gets hit, he's not very sturdy.
Understand. When do you think it's the best time to go?
In the morning.
First thing in the morning?
Get a rest. Everybody get rest tonight, and then, assuming we don't have another trippy dream, go straight to the general store.
There's no way to prevent that again, is there? Any kind of spell you can use?
And I have my, I pull out my, ritual book, or my what you call it, my spell book. I kind of flip through, not that I've learned as of right now, and I kind of look over at, Ocean. He's like, do you have any? No, because he wasn't a malevolent creature, so a ward of evil is not going to stop that. We have to ward against good, and
No, we'll be fine. I don't imagine another dream like that will occur, and even if it does, you know what? It all ended all right, right? Fine.
It was
I don't wanna-
unique, that's for sure.
well, I did lose my ring. I kind of seems I kind of highly.
Well, to be fair, you gave it. We'll be fine. I'm not worried.
All right.
I would like to really quick see if we have any. I have a list of spells that I can cast. Charisma does. Novak, is there any specific skills or talents that you have? I'm just trying to see if we can build synergy off one another from what we already know and kind of optimize our fight.
No, I understand. I don't use any magic per se. I'm mainly a frontline fighter. I was a soldier for quite a while. I'm pretty decent at sneaking around, scouting a little bit.
Charisma pipes up that she can mostly just kind of blow holes in things and protect herself a little bit. But she's just got the one spell that she likes to use mostly.
That can push people back.
Yeah,
But
but she
doesn't
can do a
happen.
couple tricks with it.
She good. Charisma, are you good at sneaking around, scouting out? I don't know if you know that or not.
I have a character sheet. You know, okay,
All right.
sometimes.
Ocean, what about yourself?
Well, I spent some time with a man who taught me a few things. Somewhat of a soldier like yourself. I'm a bit of a, I guess, an in-between, one might say, in between you and Morgan. I am adept at using magic in some form, and also quite adept at using sword as well.
Morgan pulls out his rod. I can form a very powerful elemental blast. I can change whatever element I want with it, but I have a very limited number of uses. I could also put a small group of weaker enemies to sleep, if need be, to bypass them. I have a few other long-range capabilities. I can do long-range messaging, I can scout with Nick, and I can assuming I have the spell power left in me, I could probably tank a few blows, but not many.
I'm pretty good at taking some hits.
I don't think Morgan. I don't think we should have you be on the front line and taking any hits at all. You don't seem to be very well protected against.
What's Morgan wearing? Does he have armor on? That we see?
He has ring mail under his he's wearing like normal wizard robe, like a coat and pants, but you could see like the undershirt is ring mail.
And I saw Ocean. I saw you were pretty good with that shield with blocking some hits against those fire beetles.
It works. That's why I use it. I think we're fine. We've got our front line here. I motion to myself and Novak. We've got our back line, motion to Morgan and Charisma. And we've got a jack of all trades here with Grum. Just become a crazy beast. I think we'll be fine.
Yeah. Can heal.
I'm not.
After we eat, Morgan, would you want to help me make some poison for maybe that cheese?
Yeah. Oh,
Sounds good.
While you guys are finishing your meal and having your discussion, what is Grum doing?
Kind of freaks out for a bit and probably delays for about 5 minutes as the owl disappears, and then he looks under rocks and looks in the tree and looks around the corner. Hoot hoot, hoot hoot. And after a while, he gives up and he's like, "Okay, you're a sneaky owl," and then heads over to the general store. Knocks loudly, as he always does.
Come in.
And, hey there, I just wanted to talk to Bob.
Why?
Well, see, you know those adventurers? I think they're gonna try to go down there. I was gonna see if I could, pacify them a little bit. Maybe let them know that they're coming.
Sure. You need more cheese?
No, I'm gonna try something different this time.
Okay. You still have your key?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, be careful. If you need anything, remember, thump on the floor.
I will. Heads over to the whatchamacallit. I can't remember if it's a trapdoor or a door.
It's the cellar door behind the general store.
Okay. So, just if you hear lots of creaking and stuff, lift the floorboard so I can get out.
Okay, Grum.
Thanks. Heads back to the cellar.
She just kind of shakes her head.
Just gonna go over to the cellar, put in the key, and knock on the cellar door.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Listens. Bangs on the cellar door a bit more.
Squeaking happens.
Is that you, Bob? Okay, he's gonna cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
Hey, Bob. Is that you?
Is that you, Grum?
It's me. I got a favor to ask you.
You got cheese?
I always got cheese. What you talking about, fool?
What you want, man?
Look, I'm gonna open the door just a little bit, alright?
Okay.
But you know, you can't be trying to jump out. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to smack you with my stick.
Well, don't hit me with the stick again, man. That hurts, man.
Yeah, I know. That's why I do it.
Hey, you open the
Alright.
door, you give me the cheese, and we'll talk, alright, man?
You got it, man. He's gonna open the door a little bit until he has line of sight on the rat.
And you see the familiar face. Brown and white, beady little eyes staring right up at you.
He's gonna cast Animal Friendship on him.
That's a thing. Where?
It's a thing.
Uh, second. I was not expecting that. Okay, so let's see.
It's a DC 13.
Okay.
Wisdom.
Succeeds.
Oh.
Yeah. Alright, Bob.
We,
Have a good berry.
where's my cheese, man? You promised me cheese.
I didn't promise you shit, fool. Promise you I'd give you some food. Take a good berry. You know what this does.
Look,
I'm gonna
man.
come back with cheese.
When you gonna come back with my cheese, man?
We're gonna come back in the morning.
You can come back in the morning. You gonna have some cheese?
I'm gonna have some cheese. But you're gonna be able to control your pack?
As long as there's cheese, man, I can do what I gotta do. But if you keep giving me these good berries, I can't make any promises.
Yeah, well, this is just for you. You know that.
All right, man. And he kind of walks up and waits for the good berry to be put on the ground.
Rolls the good berry into the cellar and closes the door.
Okay.
We'll be back.
All right, man. You better bring the cheese.
Now I'm bringing cheese. Oh, fucking rat fool.
And by the way, that was a natural 18.
What's a rat's foot?
It's 0, dude. He
Damn,
had to roll.
That's close.
He had to roll.
You had to roll an 18 to
Yeah.
beat it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Heads back to the store. Heads back to the inn.
Okay. So you make your way back to the inn, and everybody's finishing up their meals. Yours is still sitting on the table, I would presume, unless somebody else reached over and grabbed Grum's food.
That's way too dangerous.
We're not suicidal. We're crazy.
Alright. Well, hey everyone, as he comes in. So I talked to Boren. There's no maps. I talked to the rats. And as long as we bring him cheese, they'll let us through.
Question for the DM.
But
Do we think he actually can talk to rats, or do we think he's insane?
Roll insight.
It's like shit.
11.
Hang on, I'm joining in on this one.
Yeah, because I don't know much about druids as my character.
You don't know much about Grum.
That's true. He could just be insane.
Grum?
I don't know. What am I doing? I mean, he's telling the truth. So
There you go.
So Morgan's gonna pipe up and's like, so the small rats downstairs are your friends, right? We don't have to kill them to get them out of our way?
friends, no. But you know, you give them cheese. You just gotta project confidence and give them cheese, and it works.
Hit him with a stick.
What if we just give them poison
And look,
cheese?
and that's true. If they get rowdy, you just hit them with your stick. You just keep bashing them with your stick, and then you run away. Because there's a lot of them down there, and if they all pack up on you, you've got a problem.
How many is there? Roughly.
Well, they're rats. How many do you think there are? There's as many as you can, like, I don't count that high.
Okay.
Would we be able to take care of them all with a nice big round wheel of poison cheese?
Wait, you want a poison pot?
Well, that's what I was asking.
You said he's not your friend.
No, I mean, no, but he's Bob. I mean, they take, they're not bad. They're just rats.
Just
I mean, we don't have to kill them if we don't have to. You just bash them on the nose, and they learn.
kind of look over at Novak and Ocean and kind of shrug and is like, yeah, sounds cool.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, look, rats, they eat the spiders. They kind of keep all the other stuff out that tries to come up. I mean, they're different rats to the other rats, okay?
Yeah, the small
These
ones don't do
rats
much,
are cool rats. Those other rats, they're not cool rats, right? I mean, like, those other rats, they're different kind of rats, right? You can't talk to them. I've tried.
Okay, so give them cheese and they're out of our way. They're somewhat helpful and not the bad ones. I guess we can disregard them and move on.
We can bribe them. Let's just all be clear on this. You have to bribe them. Thank you.
That was good. I enjoyed that. That was awesome. I did not expect that at all.
So yeah, I mean, we just gotta get some cheese. That's gonna be the big thing, and I try to feed them a lot, so they don't like to give me cheese. So that's on you guys.
And look over and like buy a plate of cheese before we leave. I don't expect it to be that much, especially if we tell them what we're planning on doing with it. Sylvia should be able to help us out with that.
Yeah, sounds good. It's helping them out too. So.
A few short moments later, Sylvia comes out and starts asking to take empty plates away, asking if you guys need any more food, more drink.
Grum sits down to eat his first plate. Oh, another plate.
Of course, Grum.
Thank you. Errand's done. Food time.
Anyone else? Did anybody else need any more food or drink or?
Oh, I'm fine. Just one more glass of water before I turn in for the night.
That's all I need. Thank you. I'm good.
I'll take another whiskey, please.
Okay. And she kind of clears the table of the empty plates and scurries back off towards the what you would assume is the kitchen. At this point, we've been playing for about an hour and a half. Let's take a quick 5-minute recess, bathroom, drinks. I'm out of Mountain Dew, and I could desperately use something. My throat's a little dry.
All right.
All right, so we will be right back. Give us about 5 minutes, and we'll see you shortly.